Hey everybody, welcome back to microbeerreviews.com. Alright, so Sierra Nevada, one of the top 3 brewing companies in the US right now in the craft beer market, brought out Hunter. And this beer has a very unique brewing process to it, which I'll explain in a second. But I had this beer literally like the week it hit the market in a growler. It wasn't even available in bottles yet on the East Coast, but they had a keg of it at the local beer store. I had a growler of it. I wasn't too impressed. It had this kind of strange flavor I couldn't really peg. But the video that I produced, unfortunately, did not pan out. So, a neighbor of mine was gracious enough to show up last week, and he said, "Have you tried this beer yet? It's called Hunter. It's from Sierra Nevada. It's got this really cool hop flavor to it." I had one, and I have to admit, I was pleasantly surprised. So, beer review number 2 of Sierra Nevada Hunter. It looks like this in the 6-pack. It's brewed from distilled hop oil, and I think this is something that really and truly is going to be more common in the future. So, essentially what they do is Sierra Nevada goes to extreme lengths of taking the whole cone hop, pulling it off of the plant, and before they do anything to it, they don't dry it, they don't boil it, they literally squeeze out the resin and the juices of the hop into this brewing process. So they call it an intense wet hop flavor. It has a complex method of steaming these distilled wet hops before they leave the field. It literally is done in the field. I mean, you can't get any more fresh than that. It captures all of the natural flavors, creating this unique and intensely aromatic beer. Once they gather all the oil in this traditional whole cone hop, they brew it in the kettle, and it produces IPA, aka Hunter. So ABVs are 6.2%, IBUs are 60. But what's really cool about this beer is, like I said, I've had it now twice. The second time was much, much better. It's extremely easy to drink, and I think it has to do with 2 things. So the bittering hops are Bravo hops, but then the finishing hops are your traditional Simcoe, Crystal, and Cascade hops. Then they take 2-row pale, caramel, and flaked oats for the malts. But then they take, here again, more hops, the oil resin from the fresh hops, and then they squeeze that into the whole process. So it's I'm sure this has got to be extremely labor intensive. But it's only $9 a 6-pack, which blows my mind. Something like this should be way more expensive in my concept. And quite honestly, you can find it, fairly regularly right now. So even though it's an extremely labor-intensive process, it's not that limited. So from what exactly I remember, it's got this really cool kind of golden, very, very filtered, nice carbonation to it, nice white frothy foamy head to it. But this is what's so unique about this beer. When you smell this beer, it literally smells exactly like a wet hop. I mean, it smells almost, it smells sticky. It doesn't smell alcohol-y. It doesn't smell like everyone always calls, the big double IPAs real dank. It's not that at all. It's this really fresh, unique smell. And I think this was the smell I struggled with, the aroma, when I had it first with the growler. It's just something I wasn't used to, but it smells extremely fresh, very hoppy, and you can definitely smell, for example, like the Cascade and the Simcoe hops in here. But what's really cool about this beer is it's almost like the aroma lingers in your nose and it doesn't go away. It doesn't just dissipate. So I've probably spent 3 minutes describing this beer, but I think it's got a really kind of unique thing to it, and I have definitely become a fan of it in this second tasting. So cheers. Alright, so it's very dry. It goes down very easy. It dissipates quickly, but it definitely has this upfront, really, really, really cool hop flavor to it. It's not fruity at all. It's not what I would call really that piney. I mean, some people would call the hop flavors are always piney, but there are beers that are way more piney than this. It just has this extremely fresh, very quickly dissipating hop flavor to it that no other beer has that I've ever had. It's one of those that even like right now, I don't really taste anything. It kind of just dissipates in my mouth, and I honestly think that has to do with everything about it being that fresh from the harvest. So I'm gonna get on a soapbox real quick, but I'll jump off. This video is gonna be way longer than I anticipated. But a lot of the beers that have dried hops, a lot of the beers that have a lot of pasteurization to it, they linger in your mouth. You wake up the next morning, you smell like beer. You have a headache because of all the preservatives in it. You can tell this beer is fresh. You can tell this beer hasn't been implemented a lot of other chemicals and a lot of the other storage processes. It tastes and smells that fresh, which quite honestly I'm a fan of, because I like the fact that it's something that you don't feel like has been put through a lot of extra pasteurization and processes to become such a fresh beer. So it smells really good. It drinks extremely easy. There's zero bite to it. It's only 6.2% ABVs, 60 IBUs. It's right on the middle of the road of everything, where you could easily have a couple of these. You almost treat it like a session beer, even though it's, at the 6.2%. But it's so fresh. It truly has a unique flavor, and I'm a fan of this. I will definitely buy this again. We rate our beers from 1 to 5. I'd give this at least a 4. It probably deserves a 4.5. It really has a lot of unique things to it that I like, and I'm glad I tried it again. I think that the extensive process to make this beer produced the way it is, Sierra Nevada's done a very, very good job. So thanks for watching MikeReviews.com. See you again real soon. Cheers.